Hey everyone, I had to change to iPad. I couldn't figure out if it was working or not. Um, Not really enjoying this last update with Facebook and how I set up the videos. Before it was really easy for me to know if I was online and if there were any comments, whereas now I feel like I am going around circles and I start and I don't continue and it's not the best. But good morning, and today we are going to talk about applying qualitative research skills to professional practice, and that also can be inverted and vice versa. Applying skills that you learn in your professional practice to qualitative research. And it's interesting because I actually had the presentation open on my laptop and I was going to share some slides with you, but unfortunately I am actually doing the video through the iPad, not my laptop, and I won't be able to do that, but I can share the outline of the presentation I prepared for the class that I taught. And it's that class that I mentioned in the blog post. One of the reasons I wanted to write that blog post is because many of us qualitative researchers and academics, we need to teach undergraduate and graduate courses that are not necessarily related to qualitative research and qualitative methods. However, I do believe that if possible, we should try to plant a seed to that type of research, to a different epistemology that most students, especially in certain areas, and more specifically here, I am thinking about health sciences, where there is very little exploration of epistemology and the philosophy of science and what we consider scientific and knowledge production. And in this particular instance, I was invited to a class that is basically aimed at preparing students to become dietetic interns and to start their introduction to professional practice as interns in nutrition. I really had two goals when I went in. I wanted to first showcase what qualitative research is about and how we do it, but of course with like a minimal level of details, like not going into anything very complex. Like it wasn't the intention to even give an introduction to qualitative research. It was really talking about what we usually explore and how we do it. And with that, I kind of pulled from my own professional practice as a dietitian, like the years that I had as a dietitian and in my training, I was able to really think about certain things that we have to develop as professionals in order to actually do our jobs well. And with those skills that we have to develop, I transfer them and I show them how they can apply that to qualitative research. So that was goal number one. And to give you a practical example, we are trained to facilitate groups, to be able to teach classes and to facilitate groups. So I show them how the skills that we learn in order to do that can be applied and used for us to potentially facilitate focus groups or group interviews. I'm not saying here, and I didn't tell them that they wouldn't need further training or further learning in order to become qualitative researchers. But I did show them that it was possible for them to, in the future, embrace that if they had an opportunity to do so. So that was goal number one. Goal number two, it is also to enable professionals to be able to critically look at research that is presented to them in the future. I'm looking at the other camera. I should be looking here, so I'm looking up. I, yes, I'm sorry. I feel like you're probably like, where is she looking? I'm looking at the regular camera that I use, but I should be looking here. So I'm here. So one of the things that I also wanted, so goal number 2 was to also give them enough to critically ask questions when they are reading research, especially qualitative research, but not limited to qualitative research. It's, in a way, my effort to enable them to appreciate qualitative research, to understand where we come from when we do it, that we do have a different epistemology from a lot of the work that they are exposed to throughout undergrad, and the purpose is different. So with those 2 goals in mind, I developed a lecture. The thing that I always try to do, and in this case, it was probably the thing that came out of that day the loudest, was inspiring people to don't feel limited by their credentials, their title, their areas. When I presented students at that point with the possibility of in the future becoming involved in qualitative research as professionals in dietetics, or potentially as they embrace and work in other areas, I really show them a side that I think it's very important for people right now, which is to understand that your career is a journey, and that skills that you have that might not necessarily be the most prominent skills in your CV or in your training, as long as you believe in them and you love them and you like them, you can use them and develop them to apply to your work, to your job, to your next step in your career. The inspiration part is something that the feedback that I got from students, I got a few emails after that lecture that truly spoke to the aspect of thank you for telling us all the things we can consider and do in the future. And we all need that boost of positivity and energy right now with everything that is going on. Where I am, we are I think we are actually the highest number of COVID cases per 100,000 people. So the reason why I changed the time of this live today is because we are shutting down many things as of Friday and Sunday, and I am trying to get in for a few appointments before places are closed for 3 to how many weeks, who knows, right? So all I'm saying is the circumstances we are living are very uncertain, and especially for people with less maturity and students who are starting their career and are facing all these changes, things are even more complex, and I think more doom and gloom. They don't know anything different from the spaces that they are entering now, but it's definitely not what they were expecting. And I think that's the key here, expectations. So, well, thank you. I know, like, we are all going through these ebbs and flows and lockdowns and restrictions in different parts of the world, and it's what is happening here now. So we are moving through that, but I want you to know that I sincerely believe that we have an opportunity to try to look at opportunities amid difficult circumstances. We are in a position, most of us who are here, in a position of privilege in many aspects, in our education, in our the settings where we have secured work and all of that. And I think we have a role as those people in those positions of privilege to support um, that whole effort to look at the silver lining, or to at least look at the opportunities amid the challenges and the circumstances. It's not a blind optimism, but at deep down, I do believe that we need to try to find meaning in things. And I think the students that were in that class, it was a virtual class, um, really spoke up and came back to me via email saying, thank you so much. That was refreshing, because first of all, I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know I had the skills to even try one day. And secondly, I've been so jaded with everything that I hear that is not how I wanted, and seeing everything that I didn't expect, that any approach that shows an opportunity and the things that I can do is really a gift at this point. Um, so because I am live using my iPad, not my regular laptop, as I told you, and the software that I use, I am not going to be able to share the slides that I prepared. If any of you watching this live now or later are interested in seeing that, I did share with the QRB cohort, and I would be open to sending you a PDF of the slides if you want. So let me know, reach out through a direct message on Facebook, or reach out through info@qualiq.ca, and just let me know, like, I really would like to take a look at the slides you prepared for this class. I can PDF them and I can send them your way, and you would have an idea of how I presented, keeping in mind that I was presenting to dietetic interns, that's also the professional practice, the title that I have. And it is, I know very well how little we get in terms of training about epistemologies and philosophy of science in undergraduate in that area. So if you are interested in that, you will need to tailor and to make sure that you transfer that presentation to your setting and your area of studies. With that, I am going to wrap up today. I hope to talk to you soon, to see some of you over virtual meetings soon, and we will see each other next week. And hopefully I won't be looking up and down. I still keep going up to my camera. But I will be seeing you next week, and now I will probably try to use another method of going live instead of just being lost in my eye level, where to go and where to look. So have a good day, everyone, and stay safe. Keep doing what you're doing to keep your families, your loved ones, and yourselves and your neighbors safe and healthy, and I hope to see you soon.